All right, we're talking today about abundance thoughts, about how to use abundance mindset exercises to really create the kind of life that you want. Are you somebody who has slipped into scarcity mentality where you feel like there's never enough or you never have enough? And you find that the more that you're in this mindset of negative thinking, that's what you create in your life. You're just continually spinning your wheels, stuck in the same merry-go-round, stuck experiencing the same things over and over again, and you just can't seem to get out of it. And maybe you are smart enough to recognize that if you have abundance thoughts, if you can change your way of thinking, then you can actually create your reality. Well, that's absolutely true. We're going to talk about how to do that today. Okay, we're talking about abundance thoughts. We want to get out of this scarcity mentality. Now, maybe you've had these scarcity thoughts where you think, if only I had this, my life would be better. Or if only I were smarter, if only I were prettier, if only I were thinner, if only I had more confidence. You start to think these things, and what you're doing is you're focusing on what you don't have. And whatever you focus on expands. So you definitely don't want to do that. You want to get yourself into this mindset of abundance, where there is enough and to spare, where there is plenty, and where it is continually growing and enhancing. So an easy place for you to look as kind of an example of this is to look to nature. I mean, go outside and walk around in the grass and kind of feel what that feels like. And you're seeing all of these blades of grass, and are they scarce? Are there only a few? Look at the leaves, on a tree. Are there only a few? No, it's abundant, and it just seems to be growing more and more. And the more you fuel it, the more you feed it, the more everything works together to create even more. That's what your life can be like. When you are in an abundant mindset, when you are focused on the good things that can happen and are happening, you're able to really experience all of these things. You're able to have them grow. Now, one of the things that happens to us is we start to get in this scarcity mindset where we think we don't have enough and we start to hoard it and we're holding on to it. I mean, think about air. Think about the air that you breathe. Are you ever worried there's not going to be enough? Or what if you're going to run out? Like, what if you're out running and it's kind of hard to breathe because there's not very much and you're a little bit constricted? Do you stop because you're afraid you're going to run out of air? What if your blood, think about your blood flowing through your body. If it starts to stop, if you're holding on to it, that's called a blood clot. The same thing happens in our lives, whether we're talking our financial needs, where we're just holding on to money because we're afraid more isn't going to come, or whether it's our relationships. If we think our relationships aren't abundant, that we can only hold on to one or two friends and we can't be our best full selves with everybody. These are ways that we can kind of shift our thinking to create amazing things in our life. So let me just tell you some cool research that happened this last year. Actually, last year, it was Harvard. They interviewed 4,000 millionaires, and asked them a whole bunch of questions. Now, I don't know where you're at right now, but the idea of having $1 million seems like a pretty amazing idea to me. Probably, maybe to you, right? That you would like to have that kind of abundance. And if you had $1 million, you'd be happy, right? That'd be fantastic. You can kind of see it. Well, the interesting thing is when they interviewed these 4,000 millionaires, they found out that 27% of those millionaires felt they needed 1,000% increase over the amount of money they had right then in order to be happy. In order to be happy and satisfied, they needed 1,000% more than they had right then. And in fact, of all the 4,000 millionaires that they interviewed, only 13% felt like the money that they had right then could make them happy. 13% of millionaires believe that they can be happy with the amount of money that they have right now. Just blows my mind. Abundance is not about how much you have. It's about how much you think you have. It's about how much you appreciate. It's about gratitude. It's about what you recognize is in your hands already right now. See, your beliefs create your experiences. And if we believe we don't have enough, even if we've got $1 million, even if we've got 10 or $20 million, if we believe that we don't have enough and that we need more in order to be happy, in order to be satisfied, that's what we're going to experience. So I want you to think about kind of the belief systems that are keeping you stuck in thought right now. Stuck, these thoughts that are keeping you kind of in the same pattern over and over again. I don't know if you're the same. I'm the same. I keep getting into these patterns where I get the same results over and over again. I'm a filmmaker, and I keep getting into these scarcity mindsets of people can't afford the kind of quality that I do. And there aren't people that like that kind of quality. And I tell myself these stories, and then that's the kind of outcome that I find. I find people who say, "Oh, you're too expensive," or whatever. So think about what it is that you are telling yourself as your core story, as your thoughts of either abundance or scarcity. Abundance means that it's going to grow. It means that there is plenty. Scarcity means that there's this limited amount. There's this finite amount, and you need to go and search for it and hold on to it and hoard it. So, as you kind of think about abundance thoughts, think about what you can do to change that. It really comes down to your core beliefs. So here's today's exercise. I want you to look at what it is that is stopping you from getting what you want. And if you really look at that, you're going to find that it's a core belief that is preventing you. Like for me, maybe it's that I don't believe that there are clients who can afford the level of quality that I have. Okay, so that's my belief, and it's a belief of scarcity. It's a limiting belief. It's something that's going to hold me back. I want to shift that. So whatever your belief is, I want you to think about what it is you want to accomplish, and why can't I get that? That's the belief. So the belief is the thought that comes after why I can't get whatever I want. So when you figure out that belief, I want you to write it down, and then I want you to flip it on its head. I want you to flip the script and write the exact opposite. So for me, for my example, instead of thinking I can't find companies or people who want to afford the kind of quality that I do, I could flip that on its end and change that to say, I find so many clients that want the kind of quality that I'm known for, that I don't even have enough time in the day to satisfy them, and I need to share that with other people. Like, that's one way of flipping it around. The other thing that you can do, because sometimes it's a little hard to believe that because you've been believing the opposite for so long. Now when you flip it, rather than just have a nice statement there, why don't you turn it into a question? Why do I have so many clients who love the quality that I do and happily pay me for my services? Now that I start asking that, my mind starts racing through trying to find evidences that that's true. And when your mind is looking for those evidences, it's either going to find it or it's going to create it. And that's the opportunity you have today. What do you think? You've heard my thoughts. Now let's hear yours. In the comment section below, share what impressions came to your mind. What did you get out of this? If you have had thoughts to take action, please do so. Always listen to your inner voice. It's your ultimate guidance system. Of course, the best place to take action is at scottwilhite.com, because if you join me for a free web class, I will reward you by sending you my purpose planner so you can have a physical guide to help you get in touch with your inner guide. Your core story will serve you or shackle you. It's up to you. Choose your beliefs and pick your identity. It is choice, not chance, that determines your reality. See you next time.